On this week's edition of Fast Track Live, we look into the effects of the Muslim ban on Purdue's campus and how students are reacting.
And we'll learn how Purdue President Mitch Daniels is looking to help out students at neighboring St. Joe College.
And in sports, the Super Bowl champion was crowned and the Boilermakers hit the road to take on the Maryland Terrapins. Fast Track Live starts now.
Welcome to Fast Track Live. We're coming to you live from the Fast Track Studios, brought to you by the Brian Lamb School of Communication at Purdue University. I'm Dakota Simon alongside Sarah Cohen.
President Donald Trump's recent Muslim ban has inspired Purdue students and faculty to voice their opinions and beliefs by holding a protest in Memorial Mall this past Thursday. Professors and students held a peaceful gathering to express their disapproval with the new executive order on immigration. Our own Molly Shaughnessy attended the protest and spoke with students about their thoughts.
No ban, no wall!
The protest behind me was a peaceful demonstration where students and faculty expressed their thoughts on Donald Trump's executive order on immigration. The organizers say that they just want to spark a dialogue on what the future will hold for America.
I'm here because I'm upset with a lot of the recent actions. There are some real problems nationally and internationally, but I think that we're creating a lot more problems out of Washington right now than we're solving.
I'm hoping that more people will listen. It would be really great if some congressmen could listen. It would be really great to get more people involved, make it known that students are not quiet. We are not apolitical. We do care about what is happening deeply. It affects us.
I'm completely against the ban and wall and everything. I think it's completely ridiculous that we, as Americans, a nation built on immigrants, are trying to ban people that really should not be banned from this country and deserve every right to be here, as we do.
I think understanding different viewpoints is very important. That's what I try to promote with my students. It's hard to experience something that's different or to get to know somebody who looks and sounds different than you or has different political opinions, but I think it's really unhealthy to tune them out, and I think that goes both ways.
Tell me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like!
Molly Shaughnessy, Fast Track News.
A man in his 40s has been convicted of voyeurism on Purdue's campus this past weekend.
And later we check out how Purdue students are celebrating Black History Month this February. Stay with us.
St. Joseph's College in Rensselaer, Indiana has decided to temporarily close its doors amid financial debts that have reached nearly $100 million. This has given Purdue the opportunity to help those students who need to transfer following the 2017 spring semester. Purdue President Mitch Daniels stated, quote, "Specifically, we would offer concierge-level service to any student in good standing who wishes to apply to Purdue for transfer," end quote. Further action is being taken to help those students from the Rensselaer campus continue their academic careers.
Late Saturday night around 3 in the morning, a man who was said to be in his 40s was caught watching a male student shower in the communal bathroom in Earhart Hall. The suspect was described as a bearded white male wearing a green shirt and cargo pants. Purdue students immediately received a text message about the events and were told to contact the police with any information. This is the third case of alleged peeping Toms reported on Purdue's campus. In 2015, Delta Zeta sorority caught a 44-year-old man watching a student shower and rummaging through her dresser. The incident on Saturday still remains under investigation.
The Indiana House of Representatives has recently made it a priority in writing a bill that will promote the immunizations of college-age students in preventing meningitis. The goal of the bill is to prevent the outbreak or further spread of the disease that can become potentially fatal for some young adults. Republican State Representative Sally Segrist stated, "When there is an outbreak, there's a 10 to 15% mortality rate," end quote. Further research is being done in order to find effective ways in promoting student health across the state of Indiana.
It's February, which means it's Black History Month. The Purdue Black Cultural Center will be hosting weekly events to celebrate and teach students about African American culture. The Black Cultural Center encourages all students from all backgrounds to attend these events to learn more about the history of America.
it. And so this month is really Black History is American History, and there's a lot of people who don't know anything about it. And so this month is really to raise awareness about those things and the contributions that African Americans in particular have made to the country.
Well, this past week marked another Groundhog Day, one of the longest standing traditions in America, and Punxsutawney Phil saw his shadow yet again this year, which means 6 more weeks of winter for those across the country. Sheena, what does this mean for the upcoming weather in the Midwest?
Thanks, Dakota. Unfortunately, we will still see those colder temperatures throughout this month still. Today, though, is a very beautiful day. As we saw, we had a high around 52 today, and then tonight we'll see a low around 44. Tonight we'll also see some storms roll into our area later on tonight and into tomorrow morning. If we go ahead and look at our surface map here, we can see that we have a low pressure system over here to our west, and this system is going to move over to the east, bringing us the rain and the thunderstorms throughout tomorrow and into tonight. As we go ahead and look here, we can see there's a warm front down to the south of us, bringing us that convection that'll stir up those strong storms, so be aware of that. So tonight and tomorrow we are underneath a marginal risk, and a marginal risk includes strong winds, a chance of hail, and heavy downpours throughout. So just be aware of that. They will be scattered showers throughout the area, but again, there's just a chance of all of these, so just be aware of that. Most of it will happen to the southwest of county. As we go ahead and look at our 3-day forecast, again, today we had a high around 52, and tonight we'll see a low around 44. And then Tuesday we'll see a high of 59 and a low around 29 with, again, those chances of severe thunderstorms. And then into Wednesday, high around 33 and a low around 17 with a lot of snow. So that's all I have right now for your 3-day forecast. I'll toss it back over to Dakota.
Thanks, Sheena. Tommy Barrett here with me. There's a lot going on in sports, Tommy, specifically with Purdue, the men's basketball team. Biggie Swanigan is a National Player of the Year candidate this year.
Yeah, and he got 5th time this season Player of the Week in the Big Ten. I'll also update you on the Super Bowl. Some say it's the national holiday in the beginning of February, Dakota.
Yeah, it's going to be great. We'll be back right after this.
Thanks, guys. There was a lot going on in the world of sports, but especially here in Purdue, where the Boilermaker basketball teams were on the road. However, first we had to head to the gridiron for the big game, where the Boilermakers had 2 representatives fighting for the Lombardi Trophy in Super Bowl 51. That took place in Houston, and that featured the New England Patriots and Atlanta Falcons. But it was the Falcons early and often. They ended up winning the game. Actually, the New England Patriots ended up winning the game by Tom Brady coming back from a 28-3 deficit, the largest Super Bowl deficit in history. The previous was 10 points. Tom Brady had a pass to the end zone, and the Falcons were leading 21-0 and then 28-12. Atlanta found a way to lose the game. Tom Brady found Julian Edelman for one of the best catches in Super Bowl history. It was an amazing game. I hope you guys stayed up to watch it. Now, the Purdue Boilermakers were on the road when taking on the Maryland Terrapins. They defeated the Maryland Terrapins by just a few points, but it was one of the best games that the Purdue Boilermakers played all season. National Signing Day also took place. The Boilermakers football team and Jeff Brom led his squad, his new squad, 25 new players coming in on his first recruiting class, and no surprise, it comes mostly on the offensive side of the ball. Here's what Brom had to say. Technical difficulties there, so it is okay, but the Boilermakers looking for another building year. They actually had the worst recruiting class, but Jeff Brom did not have a full time to recruit his time. And coming up later in the show, Tommy Luce will talk with us in his recruitment process. Head Boilermaker head coach Matt Painter, always looking for that next star player, but not every guy on the 12-man roster is actively recruited. These walk-on players, however, have an integral part of the success of the Boilermakers. Sports reporter Trevor Peters caught up with the fan favorite walk-on and freshman Tommy Luce as he walks on the big court.
collegiate player.
The closing minutes of a blowout win for the Purdue basketball team would usually bring in the walk-ons.
I was pretty nervous when I got in.
And when it was his chance to walk on the big court, the 5'10", 150-pound guard Tommy Luce was destined to be a boiler.
Well, I've always been like a big Purdue basketball fan, and I've known Coach Painter for a while. He asked my dad if I wanted to walk on the team, and I was like, heck yeah, when I found out I could do it.
But what he didn't know was that he would become a Boilermaker fan favorite. In fact, it's hard to get through the closing minutes of a game without hearing chants of "We want Tommy."
If Tommy Luce knocks one down, I'm just going to lay out because this crowd's going to go nuts.
It makes me feel pretty good. I mean, at least they're not booing me when I get in. Actually, I went to Insomnia Cookies one night, so I walked over there, and there were some guys that went to the game earlier that night, or that day, and it was later that night. And they were like, "Are you Tommy Luce?" I was like, "Yeah." And they were like, "Oh, man, we're big fans. Can we take a picture with you?" And I was like, "Man, that's pretty cool," because that was the first time it happened.
The transition to Purdue as a walk-on and a practice player is a different role than what he knows, but he's just a part of the team as any other player.
So I do pretty much everything the same that the guys do. All of them have helped me just like get used to being a basketball player for Purdue. I mean, it's a little different than being a high school basketball player.
So late in the game, when the Boilermakers are up big, expect to hear the fans requesting their favorite walk-on.
I just try to be the best teammate I can be, someone that they can always trust, and if they need someone to be there for them, I'm there, I'm that guy.
Trevor Peters, Fast Track Sports.
All right, thanks, Tommy. Coming up after the break, Purdue has discovered more about Martian volcanoes due to debris found on research trips abroad. Stay tuned.
All right, well, as I mentioned earlier, we will be seeing rain tonight, carrying on into Tuesday morning and into close to Tuesday night. As you go ahead and look here, around Tuesday night, around 8 p.m. tomorrow night, we'll have a temperature around 51 degrees, and then afterwards, after the storm passes through, after that low pressure system passes through our area, temperatures will start to drop tremendously. So we'll start off around 51 around 8 p.m. and then carry on through the night, around 47 at 10, and then around midnight, 43, and then around 2 o'clock in the early morning of Wednesday, we'll see a temperature around 39 degrees. So again, temperatures will start off pretty nice on Tuesday, carrying out through the rest of the day, and then that night is when they'll start dropping into Wednesday. Wednesday, we will be expecting snow showers, a chance of them. Nothing too extreme, no blizzards or anything. There will be a chance. You also want to make sure you be careful of slick spots on the sidewalk, on the road. With the rain happening Tuesday and then Wednesday, having cold temperatures, that rain could freeze over and it could make a little slick spots. So be careful of that. As we go ahead and look into the weekend forecast, we can see Thursday and Friday, temperatures and skies clear up. The weather seems pretty decent. It will be a little cold on Thursday and Friday. Friday will have a high around 44 and then a low around 39. Partly clear skies on Friday. And then carry on into the weekend. Saturday, we will see a chance of rain again. Around 50% chance on Saturday, a high around 55 and a low around 48. And then carrying on into Sunday, again, another chance of rain. We're looking about a 40% chance, so nothing as strong. A high around 53 and a low around 29. So again, warmer temperatures and some rain for the weekend. That's all I have for your forecast, and I'll toss it back over to Griffin.
Purdue researcher Mark Caffey has recently been part of a team that has discovered a meteorite in Algeria that has given information about volcanic activity on Mars. Caffey said, "Even though we've never had astronauts walk on Mars, we still have pieces of the Martian surface to study thanks to these meteorites." Caffey's research extends to the largest volcano in our solar system, which is also on Mars, called Olympic Mons, a volcano over 17 miles in height. Now we'll see what has been going on in the world of social media with Griffin Schiller.
Well, thanks, Dakota. Appreciate it. Hey, everyone, and welcome to Media with Molly. And as you can see, I am clearly not Molly. I'm Griffin Schiller, filling in for Molly Shaughnessy this week, and I'm going to be giving you the rundown on the top trending items of the past couple of days. By the past couple of days, I really mean the Super Bowl and everything that wasn't the game. So in case you've been living under the world's largest rock, Super Bowl 51 was last night, and as a Falcons fan, I don't want to talk about it too much. So the game aside, we were pretty much all treated some great entertaining commercials, with some of my personal favorites being Busch Beer letting the world know that once you crack open a can of that crisp, refreshing smell of your dad reminiscing about his days in the basement of Kappa Sig, you will ultimately be left thinking about how flat the beer is. Buick's showcase of Cam Newton dominating 5-year-old football players was a definite highlight, and it was especially nice of them to include the entirety of the Panthers' offensive line as well. T-Mobile took a few jabs at Verizon using BDSM as a ploy to earn the consumer's business. That's all I'm going to say regarding that. Speaking of BDSM, Lady Gaga. She did a great rendition of many of her famous songs during the halftime show. It even swung into the stadium on wires after starting the show on top of the stadium. Oh, what's that? Oh, yes. We're just getting that she did not, in fact, do that. It was pre-recorded. That's all I have regarding social media for this week. Molly will be back next week, and I'm going to swing it back to you guys over at the desk.
Today is next Tuesday, and Purdue Musical Organizations is looking to brighten your special someone's day. Members of the singing group will be offering serenades for the cost of $30 in person or even over the phone. Call PMO at 765-494-3941 by February 9th to make a reservation. The Purdue women's basketball team will be taking on the Michigan Wolverines at 6 p.m. this Wednesday. Fans can check out the Lady Boilermakers at Mackey Arena on February 8th. PMO will host the 3rd annual Men's Choral Festival on February 9th. The concert is free to the public and will feature the Purdue Varsity Glee Club, along with performances by visiting high school choirs. The concert begins at 6:30 p.m. in Elliott Hall of Music. Also, on this Thursday, Mackey Arena will host a watch party to see the men's basketball team take on the Indiana Hoosiers. The event starts at 6 p.m. Sounds like it's going to be a great time for Boilermakers, definitely for basketball this week. There's also a skating event coming on this Saturday at the Co-Rec. Check it all out. Let's go over to Dakota.
Well, Sarah, it's been a crazy past week and weekend with the Super Bowl. Griffin touched on Lady Gaga's great performance. Kind of an exciting game. It was a blowout at first. The Patriots come back. Tom Brady wins his 5th Super Bowl out of 7 tries. And crazy weather also.
Absolutely. I know. I had my money on the Falcons, and in the first couple of minutes of it, I was like, this got it. Like, we're in. And then something just happened.
It's crazy, and it's just 28 points up, and that's the way it works. And, the weather, nice out today. It'll be snowing soon. Typical Indiana weather. Purdue students have to deal with it all the time.
But 50 degrees this weekend. I'm stoked about that.
Yeah, that's always great for having fun on the weekend. Purdue students can get out and do some great activities, throw the Frisbee around in the Memorial Mall, do all sorts of things like that. It should be a great weekend, I think.
And Valentine's Day is coming up. I know Rutgers is coming for men's basketball on Valentine's Day. What a better way to spend the day by cheering on your Boilermakers.
That's all we have for this week's show. I'm Dakota Simon.
And I'm Sarah Cohen. For more up-to-date info on Purdue weather, sports, and more, make sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter throughout the week. We hope to see you next Monday. Have a great night.